the Antichrist. I have met the Antichrist. He is bold and hard-hearted. He terrified me. Adolf Hitler, 1938. Undoubtedly, all the secret organizations in the world, including global Freemasonry and enlightened politicians, are executing a highly sophisticated and developed plan to pave the way for the emergence of the Antichrist. This plan, said to be crafted by the devil himself or Lucifer, the bearer of light, may seem far-fetched, linking global domination strategies of the enlightened and Masons with the worship of devils and black magic. Yet it is considered by believers as the stark truth. The Kabbalah serves as a mystical roadmap that delineates the tree of life, teaching these enlightened individuals how to dominate the strong spirit. Renowned Jewish scientists like Einstein, Isaac Newton, and Oppenheimer are rumored to have explored the Kabbalah, attempting to decipher its mathematical and geometric mysteries. Many have reportedly uncovered symbols of evil and the devil, permeating those who master this dark art, to the extent that an adept claimed a single look could kill, known as the evil eye, En-Hara. Historically known as the people of magic, Jews have mastered and safeguarded all secrets of Kabbalah. Israelis named their most important military tank Merkava, linked strongly to Kabbalistic magic, symbolizing extremist Kabbalistic mysticism, which translates to throne chariot, destined to rule the world after transcending through the 7 heavenly palaces. The Merkava is believed to traverse the 7 heavens separating the tree of life, consisting of 10 heavens from the 3 other realms inhabited by the devil Lucifer, the bearer of fire alongside the god of goodness. Thus, this tank represents their ascent to global dominion with the help of the devil or Lucifer, or even the Antichrist. The most significant ritual in magic and Kabbalah involving the summoning of the devil is the Babylon working, or the Way of Babylon, a ritual believed to breach the line between the first 7 layers and the remaining 3, collectively representing the devil's own tree in the Kabbalah, known as the Abyss. Crossing this line supposedly strips a practitioner of their humanity, allowing transformation into a stage known as the Black Brother of the Kabbalah, or the Black Magician of the Dark Way, or potentially the devil or Antichrist himself. The parallels between this ritual and the Israeli Merkava tank raise questions. The Antichrist is prophesied to perform great deeds that will astonish many, similar to the modern marvels attributed to Israel. Many enchanted by these feats have overlooked the harsh realities of Israeli policies and forgotten historical accusations against Jews for persecuting Christ, reflecting intense anti-Christian sentiments. Prominent Christian world leaders have been seen prostrating at Zionist leaders' graves, symbolizing the world's subservience to the beast, as foretold by St. John in Revelation 13. And they worshipped the beast, asking, "Who is like the beast? Who can wage war against it?" Former U.S. President Jimmy Carter and George Bush have honored Theodore Herzl, founder of Zionism, at his grave, signifying respect for the State of Israel. Subsequent U.S. presidents have also shown reverence at the Wailing Wall, Western Wall. The enlightened Masons were able to introduce the rituals associated with the magic of Kabbalah intensively into Christianity and Judaism, becoming an inseparable part of it. The secretive and intense practice of blood drinking by Jewish rabbis continues in Israel, with rabbis lining up in front of maternity hospitals in occupied Palestine to drink blood from the placentas of newborns, a ritual believed to harness the devil's supreme power when Jews approach the devil through such acts. Despite significant animosity between Catholicism and Freemasonry, these groups have been influenced by shared rituals. The Christian practice of consuming bread, symbolizing Christ's body, and wine, representing his blood, mirrors Kabbalistic rituals. The Knights Templar, once believed to be guardians of Christian pilgrims, discovered these rituals buried in Palestine and secretly adopted them, claiming to search for the Holy Grail and the 10 Commandments to earn the Vatican's approval. Mastering black magic and summoning demons allowed them to draw closer to Lucifer. After their persecution by King Philip for debauchery, they spread to Scotland and Malta, eventually strengthening and stirring revolutions throughout Europe, severely weakening the Catholic Church. As for the largest part of the Knights Templar, they moved to North America, and there they achieved what they wanted. They established the State of the Antichrist, Knights Templar and the State of the Antichrist. The Enlightened and the Knights Templar designed the United States of America to be the heart of the State of the Antichrist. This transition occurred after Christian Jewish or Zionist Christianity moved to the new Promised Land, America, beginning in the 17th century. American Protestant Christianity, fully imbued with Jewish characteristics, played a significant role in its development after the American Declaration of Independence was proclaimed by the cursed deceiver and his followers. This undoubtedly impacted American political institutions, particularly the decision-makers in the White House. Consequently, every American president entering this cursed house has declared full allegiance to the State of Israel, affirming it as the land of the Jews destined to re-establish Solomon's temple. Why not when they are staunch believers that this deceiver will not return unless the State of Israel is established? American policy has fallen under the influence of this secretive, enlightened Masonic government headed by the Antichrist, superficially controlled by the American Christian Zionist lobby in alliance with the American political right, completely dominating American policy-making and decision processes across all centers of power. It is astonishing to learn that a very famous Jewish physicist named Jack Parsons was the brain behind all the rockets NASA used in its space missions. He also invented the military rockets for the United States. Parsons, along with 3 other scientists, formed the most significant quartet in the history of North America, as they established the programs for nuclear bombs and missiles in collaboration with another Jewish scientist, Robert Oppenheimer, who developed the nuclear bomb. These 4 scientists practiced satanic Kabbalah rituals and magical sex rituals at night, which were grotesque, involving the shedding of much human blood and offering of human flesh as a sacrifice to summon the devil. Jack Parsons had a mistress named Marjorie Cameron, who revealed to the press in mid-1948 that Parsons had succeeded with the help of another Jewish priest named Ron Hubbard, and in the presence of all 4 scientists, including Oppenheimer, in penetrating the line of the abyss, the way of Babylon. These 4 scientists, who were central to America's entrance into the nuclear arms race and were the first to create intercontinental missiles boasted by America for 60 years, were also practitioners of Kabbalah and black magic rituals, in addition to being fanatical Jewish Masons. They even succeeded in mastering the most important and difficult Kabbalah rituals. One wonders what they actually achieved, about which we still have no information. They devoted themselves to serving the Antichrist and managed to recruit dozens of scientists for the same cause. If you want to search for the Antichrist, look inside the White House or the American Pentagon. Everything in Washington indicates the presence of the devil. Washington was designed to be a temple of death. Its streets surrounding the White House and all government offices represent the satanic symbols of enlightened masonry. If you investigate American history, you will find that the United States has dropped bombs on over 50 countries since declaring its independence and surrendering to masonry and the enlightened leaders of the New World Order. Moreover, the United States has not been at peace since the Civil War between the North and the South to this day. It is the only country in the world that used nuclear bombs on Japan and used uranium-enriched weapons in its war on Iraq, not to mention the chemical weapons and white phosphorus used in Vietnam and North Korea. Religion has never been a significant factor or actor in American political decision-making, as evangelical Zionist Christianity had not yet crystallized in America. When the neo-fundamentalists appeared with their Torah-based ideology, the number of followers of this fundamentalist extremism increased with the help of the enlightened who promoted this extremism after adopting it. Thus, the political decision began to be influenced by the strong preaching of extremist Christians, affected by the new fundamentalists, contributing to the shaping of America's foreign policy. The arrival of the religious political right to power in the United States, with President Reagan taking over the White House from 1980, marked a turning point in religious influence on American politics. This new conservative right built its political, economic, social, and cultural programs on purely religious principles, demonstrating the impact of the religious factor on the American political mindset and the policies of the Anglo-Saxon West that supports Israel. The Antichrist played a significant role in the theological development in the Western Church and the theological split between Catholics and Protestants through the religious Reformation movement led by Martin Luther at the beginning of the 6th century. Thus, Christian Zionism emerged. Therefore, you will not find that the American bias towards Israel is based purely on religious ideological grounds, nor was it ever just because they are Jews. The followers of Martin Luther, who split from the Catholic Church and engaged in influencing political opinions and national conflicts in Europe, especially in France and Britain, played a major role in the political conflict's landscape. Thus, the New Enlightened or New Conservatives exploited the theological and ideological religious laxity that prevailed across Europe in the 15th and 16th centuries as a testing ground for what might be prepared for in the land of the Antichrist in America. The Masons and the Illuminati cleverly exploited Jewish Christianity that emerged from Masonry and managed to control political leaders worldwide after the Knights Templar and Adam Weishaupt planned for them, transferring this Masonry-saturated Jewish Christianity from merely a symbolic, neutral, philosophical doctrine to a penetrating and influential political arena in American decision-making. They disregarded both the reasonable and the unreasonable because their fundamental beliefs rely on the enslavement and oppression of peoples to serve Israel and the Promised Land, paving the way for the appearance of the Christ. American Christianity is the extremist Protestant Jewish Christianity that desecrated and altered the landmarks of Christianity, just as Paul, son of Joshua, king of the Jews, changed the religion of Christianity. It is the same religion that all presidents of the White House and the new conservatives who hold the reins of political decision in America adhere to. Therefore, the political decisions made and issued from this den are hostile policies against everything anti-Israel. Not because the Jews control the American political decision, but because Zionist Protestant Christianity has adopted a Jewish, racist, theological, mythical, Masonic dye. Simply put, we can say that the deceiver runs this new world system with an amazing mixture of splintered Protestant Christianity and pure Judaism. The deceiver has destroyed Christianity with all its elements and caused a split and a crack that will never close. The Jews will never allow the opportunity to pass for them to have an agent and an alternative from Christianity itself, fighting the Jewish war to achieve the Jewish dream of establishing the State of Israel in Palestine. And it is no wonder that Mr. George Bush Jr. strongly believed in astrology and the occult, always held spirit summoning sessions, practiced Kabbalah magic, and prepared for his Lord-bearer of light, Lucifer, read theological books deviant from all heavenly religions, and never let any opportunity pass without mentioning the imminent appearance of the Antichrist or promoting it, preparing the American people that the Antichrist exists among them, and that the war they waged on Iraq was indeed another crusade religious war, which was described in the book, If You Repeat That to My Ears, I Will Not Believe It, by the French writer Jean-Claude Maurice, who described this war as a war of Zionist, Masonic, and satanic crimes. This lunatic claimed that he received a revelation from heaven to declare war on Iraq because Gog and Magog were revived in Iraq, and he is on his way to chase them because they intend to destroy the Christian West. Same source. And this lunatic did not mention that the Christians believed that before the coming of the Antichrist, Jerusalem must be under Christian control, which was the reason that led to the outbreak of the Crusades against the Muslims. As for the Christians themselves now, their evangelical Zionist doctrine has changed, which calls for Palestine to be under Jewish sovereignty, explaining why Zionist Christians support the Jews and advocate for the establishment of the Jewish state. They do this by igniting wars, famines, and artificially created conflicts between civilizations and religions, and sectarian strife, until the world reaches a stage where it surrenders and submits to what is coming, where the peoples of the world will all lose hope. and they will be ready to accept any solutions imposed on them by the dominant governments at that time, which will have paved the way for the appearance of the Savior represented by the awaited Christ or the Antichrist. The new conservatives and evangelicals know well what they learn from the books of the Torah and old theology about the Antichrist. So they let their imaginations run wild and issued books, stories, and novels, and produced many films, most of which revolve around the imminent end of the world and the approaching day of resurrection, with the appearance of the Antichrist and the custody of Israel over Palestine, and the end of times that must be sealed with the Battle of Armageddon. This plan to destroy the world with its 3 world wars had been put in place a long time ago by the godfather of Illuminati Masonry in America, Albert Pike, and succeeded in provoking 2 world wars. And what are the signs of the 3rd World War, which will be the war that will come upon the civilizations of the world, paving the way for the appearance of the Antichrist if he has not appeared? To conclude this presentation about the Antichrist, remember that the events we discussed are part of a mysterious and challenging future. It is crucial for all of us to be prepared for what may come, whether through deeper understanding or reflection on spiritual and religious truths. I encourage you to stay ready for these great trials. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to support this ongoing educational journey so we can continue spreading knowledge and awareness together.